Back for his second year. The first year having built a robot that can move in all directions on land. So this wasn't good enough for him, so he chose a project that attempts to conquer the air. So let's please welcome Zach.
Hello, my name is Zach. I go to JCHS. I'm a rising junior. That is my Hovercraft. And you might want to close your ears because this is about to get really loud. Is that my controller sends a 2.4 gigahertz signal to my receiver, which you can see in this case I made. And so it takes that signal and it sends it three places, the first of which is this servo, which turns my propulsion motor, which is how my whole hovercraft turns. And the other two places are two ESCs, and those ESCs take that signal and then send it to my propulsion fan and my lift fan. And my propulsion fan just pushes my hovercraft. But my lift fan sends air down through air ducts that I created in a middle layer of Debron, and it fills up a high-density air pocket in the skirt I made, and so that's how it floats. So this year, looking back on it, I have one really big issue, which is that my lift fan was made very poorly in China, and the fan blades were not completely screwed in, so when turned on, they would bounce around and the sides would vibrate a little, which would absorb some of the impact. So that made it kind of fine. But then, per one of my instructor's instructions, I put braces on the sides and then they wouldn't move anymore. So the blades would just ram into the side and then grind really hard, which was terrible. So when Eric, my instructor, decided to test drive it, he turned on the lift fan too high and the blade hit against the side too hard and the whole thing broke and kind of exploded. That was like 3 days ago. And so I had to completely replace it. And I also had to replace the bolt connectors that were connected to the ESC. And that was a really big hassle. So I started—
My bad. Sorry.
Thank you. So I started BlueStamp last year, and I learned some new skills then, but I really improved on those this year. Some of those being learning how to make 3D CAD files, and construction and applied physics. And I also learned some new skills this year, like learning how to make a skirt and learning how to make a 4-bar linkage system. So I think with these new skills, I'll be much better equipped to take on problems and projects in the future. On top of that, since I'm a second-year student, I want to go above and beyond. And so I wanted to see how marketable my product was. Turns out not very. But on Amazon, they had hovercrafts like mine ranging from $12, and those were so bad that the person who made them didn't even want to give the specs on it, to $85 hovercrafts, which are better than mine. And mine cost about $256 to make, not including the fan that had to be replaced. And so money is the first biggest issue, but there are also two other really big issues, which is that mine is made out of Debron, which is a really light foam, so it makes it float really well. But the $85 hovercraft is made out of high-grade hard plastic, which can really take a beating, unlike my Debron. And the second problem is that my two batteries, which you can see here and here, give me about 20 minutes of playtime, but it takes 6 hours to charge them. And if you make them go too low and then try and charge them, then they'll explode into a wildfire, which is a giant hazard for health. And so the $85 one on Amazon obviously does not explode. Their batteries run for about 15 minutes and they only take 4 hours to charge, so they even have a better run time to charge time ratio. My aspirations for this coming year are definitely to do a NASA internship and work on rockets, which I think will give me a lot better experience with what a real-life job is like, but also just give me a lot of more hands-on engineering, which I love. Thank you.
How far did debris go from the small mishap that might have occurred maybe a few days ago?
These things are way more powerful than they look. We found debris on the other side of the room, and mine was over there, so that's easily 20 feet or more. Alex?
What's an ESC?
An ESC is an electronic speed controller, and what it does is it has two wires coming into it, which are power and ground, and one feeds it current and the other, so if it malfunctions, it can send the current somewhere so it doesn't break everything. And 3 are coming out, and the 3 wires that come out are power, ground, which still do the same thing, but also signal, and what signal does is it regulates the speed of a motor by telling it to turn on and off really, really fast. So obviously the higher you go, the less it turns off and the more it's on, and the slower you go, the more it's off and the less it's on.
How high off the ground does it go?
It's pretty short, maybe an inch